college used to be a place where women would go off to school and come back home with an engagement ring and on their way to getting married. The thing was, they didn't go do the Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner goes creeping and hanging and like lurking around colleges and universities, not even as a student, just trying to get knocked up by future star players or future pro players in sports. And a major thing that I've seen happening is every last one of you guys has touched bases on it. Our society has sunken into a pay for play, transactional relationship type of thing. So we sort of have this like pseudo prostitution mentality in our women, and the men are not Johns, but we're being forced into essentially being Johns, and we're essentially having to pay for relationships with prostitutes. We're having to pay for marriages with prostitutes. They care. Men care. When I was up here, I was saying how there's more good men than there's more good men than there is good women. And here's your anecdotal tidbit to that. In today's society, a man is considered handsome if he's rich or have a bunch of money, and a woman is considered a good woman simply based on how good she looks compared to some Instagram model or compared to, whatever. And my point is compared to a Jane Plain, so to speak, a plain Jane. Anyway, that doesn't make you a good woman being able to make yourself look like a stripper or Instagram chick. I don't even want to insult models by calling them models, but in somehow or another, that you're not a good woman. You're a good whore. You're a good hoe. That's what you would be. And like Nyla said, in later years, you would be a good hoe. The word hoe the word woman somehow has replaced the word hoe. You would just be a good hoe based on being able to show your ass off in public.
Wait a minute, queen. They call them too. They call them queens too.
Yeah, and that's another thing. In order to be a queen, and I know this history, there's never been a queen nowhere on the history of this planet who made herself a queen without the aid of a man, which means every queen who's ever existed either inherited the throne from her father or was married to a king who died and she just became a queen. No queen has ever existed without a man. Every queen was made that by a king. So all these chicks out here that are queens that don't have a king, you don't have any subjects, you don't have a domain, you're not queens. You're just whores trying to be queens. So let's dead that situation. Let's dead that word referring to unmarried whores. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying, a lot of these women have replaced the word hoe, whore, slut, skank with the word woman, and they put the word good in front of it. And that's what, when I said good women, I'm not talking about good whores. I'm talking about actual women, fit, feminine, and friendly, civilized, able to be in a home, not having to be housebroken, not having to be taught not just how to cook and clean, but actually knowing to cook and clean. It's one thing to put forth effort and burn the kitchen down and not know how to cook. It's one thing to wash laundry and all your whites come out pink or green or something because she didn't know how to wash. But there's another thing to have to deal with a chick and actually have to force her to do those things, to take the initiative to do them. And that's what issue we are having with our women. They don't even have the initiative to actually do anything. So we're essentially, as men, having to pay for hoes, to risk losing everything through the court system. We're signing contracts where the wicked person is incentivized to break the contract. I don't even know how that's legally possible because it's a legally binding contract.
What makes these women a hoes? What do you think actually make these women a hoe?
Well, there's a lot to it. First off, the education system has degraded into basically
I'm saying within a relationship, a man marrying a woman. She's married.
That's what I mean. Well,
somebody
the virtue of being a virgin, like 99% of us are getting women that are not virgins. So there's part of it. Second part of it is the stuff that they're teaching the kids in school. They don't teach abstinence in the sex education courses no more. They teach.
Are you saying if we marry a woman that's not a virgin, a hoe by default?
Yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. But what I am saying is there has been a lot of promiscuity. They got a body count. And I guarantee you, they're ashamed of telling you that body count. You're not going to get an honest answer.
So don't you believe? So don't you believe once you marry a woman, the whole essence of holy matrimony, you taking your woman through a cleanse. You cleanse her through God's joining y'all together. And everything that she's done in her. So I would argue that. I would argue if anybody argue that what makes her a hoe is money or anything like that, or dating economically, I would argue that since the beginning, everything's been like that. Even when we had to pay a dowry or a bride price for a woman, it's always been economic.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, Bruce. I wasn't saying hoe as far as happen to be a provider. Now, I'm not talking about a man proving his worthiness. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about here is, like we said, the pay for play aspect. Let's leave celebrities out of it. Celebrities live in a whole different world. I'm talking about the status quo, normal, regular, everyday people. The 95% of us that exist in a world, in America. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about the ones of us who get up and go to work 10 to 12 hours a day and then get out of work and do another 3 to 4 hours of extracurriculars to make money. I'm talking about those people. We as men are having to pay for women, essentially, because bottom line, that's what it's come down to. All the girls are strippers or whores. Okay, I'll give you an example. This is where how far society's sunk.
I wouldn't say all of them. No, I mean, let's not.
No. You're right. Not all.
I'm not a fan when women generally.
This is how far society has sunk. These chicks are so not educated and so stupid that there's a channel. I don't want to put no names. I'm gonna put one name out there. The Brittany Renner. I already mentioned her. She's the host on her little show now. She has a little show, and they're strippers and whores and prostitutes, but they think that because they made money being whores, strippers, and prostitutes, and with all those sex worker type chicks, these chicks have actually been so distorted and diluted into thinking that making money by being sex workers actually equates to being smart. So when they want to not do sex work anymore, they actually think that they're smart, and they have nothing worth, like there's nothing intellectual that they can actually grasp onto and build on or grow with.
Well, I want to ask you this.
And that started at the school system.
What about the men that say that you got it? What about the men that say it ain't tricking if you got it? Because you have a lot of men.
And see, that's what I'm saying. That's a celebrity mindset. That's a celebrity mindset, Marla.
That's a money mindset.
Hear me out. That term was coined by T.I. in a song. That term was coined by T.I. in a song. And if you look at the ones, hear me out. T.I. made a song. It ain't tricking if you died. Or it was one of those guys. But hear me out. Right, but hear me out. It always actually has been tricking when you actually are given a pay for play exchange. When sex was a transactional, when sex is transactional, I mean directly transactional. Right. I'm not talking about roundabout way. I'm talking about directly. When sex is directly transactional, that is tricking. That is bottom tier prostitution.
Hold on, well, let me ask you this: have you ever took a woman out on a date? Not a roundabout way. Not a roundabout way. That's a roundabout way. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, Bruce. I think you got to mute in between when we talk.
Mute in between,
because your device is happening. So if you ever took a woman out on a date, whether you use your time or resources, gas, paying for the date, or you using some type of money, and I would argue that most men primarily are just trying to have some fun, have a good time at the end of the night. So if you know this, would it be better to have to finesse your way and take all this time going through all this bullshit and catering to her and taking her movies, or just handing her a little money and getting your rocks off and getting the fuck on?
Yeah, even to that point, I would say those women, Brittany Rayner or whatever her name is, and whoever else is on that podcast. Me personally, even though I'm not a fan of it, But if you can get on OnlyFans and clear $1 million, that you have to use some type of brain power, you know what I'm saying, brain capacity in order to achieve that, because everybody not going to achieve it. Is it textbook smart? No, of course not. But it may be some type of street smart that she's applying and being able to use in that manner. So I get what you're saying. Should they be wifed? Absolutely not. Will somebody wife them? Absolutely. That's part of the game, though. You know what I'm saying? Tricking has always been a thing since day one. Just like Darwin said, in some way, shape, or form, we all tricking in some type of manner. You know,
and women too. I'm sorry, women too.
too. We
Yeah,
we
women
had this
too.
conversation on Sunday. Me personally, I feel that all relationships are transactional. You know what I'm saying? Every single relationship that you're in my opinion, is absolutely transactional. What you exchange in that moment, that may be up to the relationship. But I think that it all plays a part, and it's just simply part of the game, man.